Hi, and welcome back to terryscookbook.com. My name is Terry Searcy, and I've had a lot of people ask me about Sancho. So my husband is going to show you our larakeet Sancho. This is Sancho. Say hi, Sancho. He's all the little gibberish that you hear in the back of our video, and he's obviously a tropical bird, so he doesn't do well in the cold. And actually today we got grapple. So if you don't know what that is, that apparently is not the hail we thought that was when we were kids. It's grapple. We learned that last year. So anyways, welcome back to my show. I wanted to go through again something quick that you can make. I did have a friend who called me. I really, thank you for calls and emails. I really appreciate them. And my blog did start because of my girlfriends who call me about a lot of different things. She couldn't find any flour at the grocery store. She did find some cake mix, so then I looked around and I had a box of cake mix. I told her to buy a box of cake mix, and because she wanted to make something with her kids. So I told her, okay, we'll buy a box of cake mix and I'll tell you how to make some cookies out of it. So I have, it doesn't have to be Duncan Hines, it could be Pillsbury or Betty Crocker. I'm not promoting one special brand. I just got the classic yellow because that's what I had. You can use chocolate, doesn't matter. You can use white and add sprinkles to it. So what I did is I looked around in my cabinets and I found the cranberries that I had used in one of my other blogs. I had used it with the tuna. So still have cranberries. So I'm like, ooh, cranberries with yellow would sound good. And then I also found my white, okay, so people call white chocolate chips chocolate, but there's no cocoa in it. It's basically just fat solids. So, but for sake of not confusing all of you, I found some white chocolate chips. For those of you who don't know, I found this at Walmart, and it's made with stevia. So if you're trying to, I know that's kind of like we're adding it to something that has sugar, but if you're trying to cut down, or if you're somebody who doesn't eat sugar, this brand has, I bought the semi-sweet, the dark chocolate, and the white chocolate, and chips, and they're fabulous. They're really, really good. So if I can trick my 24-year-old sons into having it, hey, it works. You're going to need for this recipe 1/3 cup of oil. I use high heat baking olive oil. I always transfer everything from plastic to glass because that's my preference. First of all, I like the way it looks, and I don't like having a lot of my stuff in plastic if possible. You're going to need 2 eggs. If you have an electric mixer, that's fine. If you want kids to have a little bit more fun, use the whisk. If you have any sprinkles or anything like that, like if you have a box of white cake mix, add the box of white cake mix. If you have any nuts left over, walnuts, almonds, whatever you find that you want to put in your cookie, little marshmallows, find it and add it to it. So this is really easy. All you're going to do, and you're going to set your oven to 350 that I've already done. You're just going to add your cake mix in there. And 1/3 cup oil. You're not going to use any type of water. Remember, so these are our fresh eggs. You always want to crack your eggs one at a time. Make sure they look good before you pour them in, because even if they're store-bought, one time I bought store-bought eggs. They didn't smell. They were refrigerated. I went home and I just started breaking them in my cake mix. Yeah, that was a disaster. The eggs were black. I took them back to the grocery store and I told them, like, every egg in this carton is black, and apparently the truck had broken down where it was heat and the eggs had gone bad, but once they were refrigerated, the smell wasn't really noticeable. So make sure you always break your eggs so you don't waste your product. Okay, at this point in time, I am using my little whisk. Like I said, you can use a hand mixer if you want the kids to tire out a little bit. Use a whisk. And they do have the gluten-free cake mixes. You can do the same thing with it, doesn't matter. And you're making a dough. This should make about 24 cookies. Well, it depends on what you're going to use. I'm going to use my cookie ball scooper. Not everybody has that. You can just do the old-fashioned, put it on a spoon and kind of semi-measure it out. Okay. So as you can see, I'm really having to hit this to get this off of here. Alrighty, take my spatula. And now I'm going to get my spatula and I'm going to mix in my cranberries. It's about 2 tablespoons. If you want to add more. But 2 tablespoons of sprinkles, or about 2 tablespoons of nuts. Whatever you want to add to it, it's fine. Whatever you find is fine. Okay, so I'm going to add my cranberries. And I'm going to add my white chips to it and mix it up. Alrighty. And my husband and I, we are what's from a club called the Boomers. They're escapees. We travel quite a bit in our motorhome, and this is great. You can always keep a box of cake mix in the motorhome or in your trailer, and that way if you want some cookies, that way you're not having to carry stuff to make cookies and or make a cake. So if it's someone's birthday in your group, great, you have cake mix. If you want to make cookies, you can make cookies. So it's, again, I try buying things that I can repurpose, make more than one thing out of it. All right, you want to use either a cookie sheet that has parchment paper on it. If you want to use a spray, I use silicone pads. I'm going to drop these cookies on there. And then once I've dropped the cookies on there, I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. And we'll be back and I'll show you how they're supposed to look. Hi and welcome back. My cookies have been in the oven for about 13 minutes. My oven isn't quite calibrated as well, so I have a thermometer in there. I know it's not at 350 exactly. My cookies are done baking. My husband asked me how I knew when they were done. When you check your cookies, this here is a cookie that's going to be a little softer. It's a little lighter brown, and our son likes them a little more on the crispier side, so I let these go just a little bit longer. But they are going to crack, but this is a great way to use up if you have any raisins, if you have any nuts, repurposing. And then if you have the cake mix and you're like, oh, we don't have any frosting, you can still make cookies. And this is something fun for the kids to do. Like I said, you can use the gluten-free cake mixes. No water. This is great to have in your motorhome or your trailer when you're camping, because you can still make cookies when you're out and about. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for coming to terryscookbook.com. We'll be seeing you on the next sewing.